New at 11, a dangerous start to the holiday weekend as a trailer falls on a little girl. Plus, a new health warning about the HPV cancer vaccine. Action News, seconds away.
Thank you, Detroit, for making Channel 7 Michigan's most...
Going to Dee Dee's point about biography, that is something else that flows from the Clinton experience in '92. When voters learned that he was the son of a single mother who worked his way through college, it undid some of the damage of being shifty, of going to Georgetown and Oxford. Is this enough for Obama?
I don't know, because he really is Columbia, Harvard, Hyde Park. That's a part of him. Now, he worked hard to get there, but he got there. And he does have, just radiates a kind of cultural grace and elegance that some people call elitism.
But you know, the remarkable thing is how similar this is to the place the Clinton campaign was. Bill Clinton in 1992, where the Clinton campaign had sort of the Manhattan Project, I think it was called, where, you know, we got to reintroduce the man from Hope, not the elitist, not the guy who had those scandals in the campaign. And I think it's very similar. And I think the Obama campaign has this window. And I think the biggest damage of the fight going on is it shortens that window in which he can present those other sides. Because George is right. He does have this academic side, the Hyde Park side, and he can't deny it, shouldn't deny it, but he's got to show that other side, because Hyde Park is a wonderful place, but I'm not sure that's going to win him a presidential election.
And I think much is about the words and the pictures. I think part of the Barack Obama, which is he's been great about lofty language and speaking at 10,000 feet, but I think there's many times he uses words and the pictures. I mean, showing up on a basketball court in a tie when you're outside just doesn't relate to that.
Like Nixon on the beach with the shoes.
But I also think
bowling,
the words
eating a lot more important.
The words he uses
bowling.
have to adjust. Everybody criticized George Bush for all like mistakes he made and all that, but in some regards, it was the guy that somebody thought they could have a beer with. And I think Barack Obama, he is not going to be that guy, but he's going to have to begin to be able to serve people that are sitting around in a small town somewhere feel like they can relate to us.
How about John McCain, George? This week was basically his spring cleaning week. He got rid of all the lobbyists in his campaign. He released his health records. Cindy McCain released her tax records after saying she wouldn't do it, and he jettisoned two evangelical pastors who were causing him a lot of trouble. Does this end his troubles? Because a lot of people look at this spring and say that he's lost some ground, or hasn't gained as much as he should have this spring.
Well, when you advertise yourself as the last honest man in America, as he does, you can't surround yourself entirely with lobbyists, which he does because he thinks he's so impeccably honest. I mean, sincere about that. The health matter is going to be with us for a while, because what the health record showed is he's going to be 72 on Inauguration Day and is going to be healthy then. But it's prospectively, to get old is to become eligible for very interesting ailments. Now, de Gaulle governed until he was 78, Adenauer until he was 87. McCain is peripatetic to a fault. In the two-year cycle before the 2006 elections, he made 346 appearances for Republican candidates and at Republican events. High-energy man, but he is vulnerable.
BJ, I wonder if this is like the race issue for Barack Obama. As long as Obama doesn't take it on directly, in which case it might backfire, he's okay, just as McCain can't take on the race issue directly in any way, even though he might benefit from it.
Well, I was struck that when you asked David Axelrod that question, the word he repaired to was energy. And I think you're going to hear that. And obviously Obama talking about how long John McCain's public service has been. He can go all the way back to his time in the military if he wants. I think that's going to be implicit. But again, you risk a backlash if you do it too explicitly. But the other thing that strikes me about the McCain campaign is they've spent so much time trying to secure the Republican base. The Republican base isn't enough to elect you anymore because it's shrinking. And it's just what Matt said about Obama. I'm surprised he hasn't done much more to go straight at those white working class voters, including Democrats. He's got to move much more to another place. If he spends more time going after the base, he's not going to win this election.
I agree with DJ on this. I think he made a big mistake when the first shot out of the box after he clinched the nomination was going to Iraq and doing a thing on Iraq. To me, Iraq is, to most people, a rear-view mirror issue. They want it dealt with, but looking forward, what they want to talk about is the economy, health care, and all of that. McCain has no voice on the economy. Absolutely no voice.
But isn't he hamstrung as long as he endorses the Bush tax cuts? Well, there's not much more he can do.
Your conversation earlier with Carl about does he have to break with the president? He absolutely has to break with the president, and he has to do it in a fairly big, formal way, whether it's on the budget, whether it's on the economy. It's got to be on something, because he cannot be the friend of George Bush is going to continue the policies of. If he is, he's going to lose in a landslide.
Meanwhile, Didi, though, the point, I think the reason Senator McCain talks about Iraq, talks about national security, talks so much about Obama's inexperience is because they do feel that feeds into his weakness on national security.
And into McCain's strength, obviously. And it's obviously where McCain is comfortable going. He likes talking about national security issues. He likes going to Iraq because he thinks it underscores his independence, that he doesn't care, that he's going to make the best decision based on the information that he has, and devil may care.
But what's fascinating about the foreign policy debate is both campaigns think they can win this.
And
that the
both
Obama campaign
in.
is not pulling back. They want to go at this and say, this makes McCain part of the failed Bush foreign policy. When you have two campaigns that believe in what they're saying, both politically and substantively, you have a great fight.
Is he
I think you're going to see it.
I'm trying to figure out where Matt would have him break with Bush. When you endorse the tax cuts and you endorse the war, that just about
what's left.
I think he ought. I mean, what I think he ought to do is give some big speech about how Bush has let Washington grow out of control. That we got elected as a conservative president, and Washington is bigger, more intrusive in people's lives, and there's bigger bureaucracies than it was before 2001. That's a fact. John McCain could stand up and give a speech about it, whether it's about all the different programs, the TSA, all those different things. He's got to do something. It's the only place I think he can do it.
Can you do that while simultaneously having the president headline fundraisers for you all over the country?
No, I wouldn't see that. I think that was a big mistake. I think whatever you get out of a fundraiser that the president's going to do, which I saw that they moved him from open to closed, which I think actually argues against McCain's principles of I'm transparent, I'm now going to have closed. But I don't think he ought to do that. He's not going to gain what he's going to lose.
Well, maybe yours is a recipe for McCain getting the Ron Paul vote, which I would point out was 15% of the Oregon primary.
Does that mean that, well, that will be the Bob Barr vote, probably, in the general election. That's all we have time for today. This is going to continue in the green room. You can join in later on abcnews.com and get the latest political news and analysis there every day from The Know. Coming up here at the Sunday Funnies.
I don't need to count sheep anymore. We got a Serta mattress.
That's fine, Brenda. We just want you to tell it to our families.
Well, my Serta mattress is so comfortable. It's so plush. All right, I'll count you.
How'd you like the tears?
Genius.
Dare to compare Serta at our Memorial Day mattress event. Find incredible values, including this special edition Perfect Sleeper with memory foam. Don't miss the Serta Memorial Day mattress event.
At ConocoPhillips, we believe we're defined by what we pass on. That's why ConocoPhillips is working with Rebuilding Together to help homes and communities across our country become energy efficient, teaching our children the importance of giving back, making better use of our energy supplies, so we can pass on what matters to the ones who matter most. ConocoPhillips, energy for tomorrow.
He volunteered.
We were drafted. She enlisted.
And off we went to Asia, to Europe.
The Gulf. To do our duty.
Serve our country. We were buddies.
Shipmates. Best of friends.
I'll never forget his courage.
Her dedication.
The way he made you laugh. And I'll remember him.
Remember her?
I'll remember them. Always.
Millions of workers across America are on the path. The path that helps guide them step by step toward a rock-solid retirement. It starts right at work with a retirement plan managed by one of America's most trusted names, Prudential. Find your path. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement.
Indianapolis 500. Coverage begins today at noon Eastern on ABC.
Now, in memoriam.
Integrity and confidence. Those are two qualities that Jimmy Carter very naturally has. And those two qualities that I think are essential for the man that will be the next president of the country.
didn't I tell you?
No, I got a black belt in gotcha.
You got a black belt in gotcha?
Sure, look over there.
Gotcha!
This week, the Pentagon released the names of 6 service members killed in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Because our destination product in our hotels and restaurants and has really grown tremendously over the last several years, and we're really primed.
Well, why issue this call now? I mean, what's the impetus for doing it now?
Well, you know, as I alluded to, the destination product, or all the new hotels that have come online. If you look at, of course, we have the 3 new casino hotels, but we also have the renovated Renaissance Marriott. We have the renovated Hyatt in Dearborn. We've got the renovated Athenaeum, the Royal Park in Rochester, the new Hyatt Place in Utica. There's been a tremendous influx of new hotel space and also new restaurants, and also our leisure product has really come along. When you look at the Riverwalk and you look at the DIA as it's been reimagined, and also the Henry Ford, one of the top tourist attractions in our state, if not the top. And the market is really, really primed, and I feel as though we're ready to give birth to a whole new industry here in the meeting, convention, and tourism that really we haven't had yet.
Chris, are you sensing that that there's some apathy out here, or that people just aren't focused in on this branding and this marketing of Detroit the way they should be?
To a large extent, we really can't control those. So let's focus on the things that we can control. And really, this is a call to action, a wonderful opportunity for business leaders. Leaders need to lead, and particularly in distress times, we really need leaders to stand up and make a difference. And this initiative really is an opportunity for business leaders to make a huge impact. We're standing up with our Little Caesars Pizza. We are moving our meeting, our worldwide franchise conference that we typically have in Las Vegas to Detroit next year. It'll be about 1,500 attendees for over 4 nights. It'll be $1.43 million impact to the community. So that's one company. Can you imagine if we have multiple companies get behind this? It can be staggering as to the effect it could have and the jobs it can create in the meeting and tourism industry.
What type of goals are you setting for yourself in terms of sheer economics and market share?
Well, today, this is an amazing statistic, but in the Metro Detroit market, about 3% of our total industry and our regional economy is tourism and meetings. And when you look at markets like Nashville, 10% of their regional economy is tourism and convention. So huge opportunity to grow in our marketplace. And now that we have a wonderful destination product, probably the best it's been in over 50 years. You have to go back to the 50s or 60s. We think we have the opportunity to potentially double the amount of meetings that take place in this region.
What specifically was it that Nashville did that perhaps we are not doing? Because I noticed that you used Nashville as an example in your PowerPoint, but they seem to have been focused on one entity in terms of promoting themselves, Music City?
It was business, it was the citizens, it was the shopkeepers, it was the governmental leaders. And the initiative then was to brand themselves as Music City. Of course, through the Convention and Visitors Bureau, we have an opportunity to brand ourselves as cars, culture, gaming, sports, and music. Those are really what we are known for and what we have to offer. And so we've got a wonderful platform. And we really want to parallel that community call to action and get everybody involved. And this Let's Meet in the D is a great opportunity, kind of an easy ask for businesses maybe to move 1 or 2 or 3 of their meetings back to Detroit and really show their hometown pride and also help change perceptions of our community by bringing visitors here to really sample what it is we have to offer.
Everybody is aware of the political controversy that's going on in the city of Detroit. You have a huge economic stake in the city of Detroit with your company there and all the sports teams, etc. What message, if anything, do you want to send? Because many people are sitting back and saying, look, you know, how can the city do business? How can we sell ourselves when we have a mayor who's charged with felonies?
the fact of the matter is, until it's voting time, there's not a lot that any of us can do. So my attitude is to really focus on initiatives that, you know, we can make a difference with. And I think this Let's Meet in the D is a great example of something that we could all, particularly if you're a business owner, and it doesn't matter if it's a meeting of 5 people or 500 people, it all is going to add up and make a difference to the marketplace. So.
2 quick final questions. A number of companies, including yours, have come on board initially to be able to, you know, say, let's really push this meetings idea and making sure that we're having more meetings right in our own region. Are you trying to really push other companies out there to say we need more to come on board?
Yeah, this is really exciting. We have just now formally launched the program just this week. Previous to even launching it, though, we had 13 early adopter companies that got very excited and got behind the initiative, led by, I referenced Little Caesars, but also General Motors stepped up in a big way. They are looking at 15 different meetings around the country that they typically hold, bringing those all back to Metro Detroit within the next 2 years. So GM alone will have a significant impact. Other companies that have signed on, Ford Motor Company, ePrize, the DMC, Strategic Staffing, Deloitte, Bank of America, and Michigan Economic Development Corporation. There's a number of them. I'm probably forgetting 1 or 2, but a lot of early adopters, and I think that bodes well. And now we're really reaching out to the rest of the business community and saying, stand up, be heard, and make a difference. This initiative is easy to do. It'll probably actually help your company more efficient in terms of your meeting cost and planning, and we can make a significant impact in our economy and really give some diversity and create new jobs here. So it's exciting.
Good season for the Red Wings. How worried are you about those Detroit Tigers?
You know, I was going to ask you, Chuck, are you a lefty or are you a righty?
You know, when you get to the point of wanting me to suit up, then we know things are not going well.
I heard they used to call you Long Ball Stokes. Is that true?
we won't even go back into those days. Well, you think they're going to be all right when it's all said and done, or are you...
You know,
I know this is not going according to plan.
No, it's not, but I'm a subscriber to the tortoise and the hare philosophy that, you know, we're starting out slow, but we're going to finish strong. And, you know, baseball, thankfully, is a statistical sport. And you look at our roster statistically, and we have a tremendous amount of talent. So hopefully it's only a matter of time before it all comes together and these guys really show their stuff. And I'm optimistic. And you know, it's a long season. And thankfully, as bad as, you know, we've been playing as of late, we're not that far out of it. So we have a chance.
All right, Chris Ellis, thanks so much for coming in. Good luck with the Tigers and everything else that you're doing.
My
over there
pleasure.
at Ellis Holdings.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more guests. Don't go away.
This car report is brought to you by the American Iron and Steel Institute.
Hi, I'm Ron Krupitzer from the American Iron and Steel Institute. Did you know that steel fuel tanks are making a comeback? It's true. Auto engineers say steel fuel tanks meet some of the nation's toughest evaporative emission standards, like the kind you find in California.